There's so many people doing well. The need for people to get debt free and get out of debt and retire is greater than ever. Most people don't, the average person, if they had a $500 situation that came up, they couldn't afford to take care of it. I mean, people are in bad shape financially, even though the economy right now is the best it's probably ever been in the history of our country. There are so many people that need help financially, that don't know what they're doing and don't know how to get there. And so the market is gigantic.
What did it feel like? I mean, maybe some of us, some people out there, they don't understand the feeling of financial independence. And I think that's why, like I've heard you say before, that if you knew how good it was, you would work 10 times harder.
Absolutely.
What did it feel like? Maybe take us back all the way back to, that time. What did it feel like when you had that $1 million and you were financially free?
Well, it felt free. It felt like I was free. I didn't have to worry about money anymore. And I could make every decision based on what was the best decision long term. So I wasn't worried about money. I wasn't worried, how am I going to make my house payment? How am I going to feed my kids? I wasn't worried about anything. I could then take all of my focus on just building the business. So there's two things that I did, I think, that really made the big difference. One was the focus on getting financially independent. The other, maybe the best decision I ever made financially, was to have no debt. I haven't had debt forever. I mean, I just don't believe in debt. I don't have any debt right now. I make a sizable income today, and not only from the business, but from investments that I've made over the years. I have zero debt, which allows me to have a life that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's, what I'm able to do is pretty awesome.
And what would you make, Hector, last year? What would you say approximately would you make last year?
Well, in Primerica, I made $3 million, but
okay,
probably almost double that number.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the choice to spend 5 years of total focus put you in a situation where today you make it's pretty much massive passive income. I mean,
it's massive passive income.
It's massive passive income, and
right.
ridiculous amounts of residual, reoccurring stuff that comes in every day. It's like, but it was 5 years. It was 5 years of focus. Why is it that people can't stay focused for 5 years?
Well, they don't see that it's real, that it can happen to them. They don't believe it. So if you don't believe it, you're not going to do the work. That's a big part of it. And the other thing that most people never do is they never do the work to master all the fundamentals of their business. So until you master the fundamentals of your business, you're never going to have the kind of results you want to have. And most people never do that. I mean, like I said, you got to master how to prospect, you got to master how to set appointments, how to do a presentation, how to overcome objections, how to recruit somebody at the kitchen table, how the products work, how to train somebody. Those are the fundamentals that most people never pay the price to. They get pretty good at them, but pretty good isn't going to allow you to get wealthy. You got to master them. You got to be great at them, because if you're not great at them, you can't teach other people to be great at them. And so if you can't duplicate yourself, you can't get big. And most people never get to that point. They don't do the work. They do just enough, just kind of like how most people in jobs, they do just enough to get fired, and the owners pay them just enough so they won't quit. And everybody's doing just enough, but they're not focused on being great at what they do. And in my opinion, you need to focus on being not good, but great. I think good is the enemy of great. And being great is the key to any, I don't care what you do, if you think of all the people that are great at their craft, whether it's actors or singers or doctors or lawyers or construction, people, I don't care what business you're in. If you have a total commitment to be great at what you do, money is going to flow to you. People are going to want to do business with you, and they're going to want to be in business with you. And I just think the number of people that make that focus and stay on that until they get there is very rare. But if you do, it's amazing.
It's amazing if you made, if people would just make that commitment. Why, like, I mean, why did you believe it? You know, why did you believe it? Because that's why they don't do it, is because they don't believe it. Why did, what was in your mind that made you feel like Primerica was the perfect business for you to make, you know, your dreams come true?
Well, because I saw so many other people doing it, and I met them. You know, I met a lot of these people. In fact, one of the first, my first year in the business, when I won this contest. I was still part time. I just gone full time. Sorry, this was like October and November of 1984. And in October, I wrote 24 personal life sales, and in November, I wrote 36 personal life sales. So I won this contest to go to the Boca Raton. There was a big, you know, one of those trips that they do now. And I had never been on one of those. I got there and I started to ask. There was all these people, $1 million earners, and you know all the names of those people like Buisan and etc. And I had an opportunity like you have in your past. I met these people. Maybe I had dinner with them, or I had them, you know, by the pool, and I was asking them, so, you know, how did you do this, and why did you make this happen, and what was your focus? And I was asking all the right questions. What I found out is that most people didn't even really know how they did it, honestly. Right. And I said, you know, I told Jan, I said, you know what? I'm asking all these people how they did it, and not one of them could tell me specifically how they did it. And I said, we're going to be wealthy. There's no doubt, because if these people could get there and make it happen and can't even articulate how they did it, my God, we're gonna kill it. And I just knew I could do it. I met the people that were doing it. They were really nice people, nothing that impressive to me at that point. I said, if they can do it, I can do it. And you know, if you're looking at if other people within your business are having success, you need to, instead of, you know, being jealous of them, you should be asking them how they're doing it, and then model and mimic their behavior. It's not that complicated.
That's it. I mean, so what would you say to somebody, you know, that says something like, well, Hector, you're lucky, you got in at the right time. You know, my opportunity isn't as good today as it was back in the 80s or whatever. What's your thought on that?
I say you're absolutely an idiot. That's not true. The truth is, it's infinitely easier today than it's ever been. I mean, with social media, which you're doing a great job with social media. There's more information on how to be successful than ever before in the history of this planet. There's so many people doing well. The need for people to get debt free and get out of debt and, you know, retire is greater than ever. Most people don't, you know, the average person, you know, if they had a $500 situation that came up, they couldn't afford to take care of it. I mean, people are in bad shape financially, even though the economy right now is the best it's probably ever been in the history of our country. There are so many people that need help financially, that don't know what they're doing and don't know how to get there. And so the market is gigantic. That hasn't changed one iota. The fact is, what you still have to do, you still have to prospect, you have to set appointments, you got to do presentation. I mean, that never is going to stop. You're going to have to do that. But if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to master those fundamentals, like I mentioned, you're willing to prospect, you're willing to set appointments, you're willing to do the appointments, and just simply work, there's nothing that can stop. There's so many young people in our business right now, very young people that are making big money, and they're in the same country you're in, they're in the same business you're in, they offer the same products you're offering, everything's the same. The difference is in their actions and their behavior. It's the only difference.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.